Greetings gastronauts, this is Keith Cook's Christmas! I'm Keith and today I'm going to show you how to make a Christmas pie! And you're sitting there thinking, what is a Christmas pie? And so was I, because somebody asked me to make one for Christmas and I've never heard of such a thing. So I've invented one, actually. I haven't really, but I'm making this pie. It's got turkey in it, so it'll taste like Christmas. And basically it's a turkey and ham pie done in layers with coriander and black pepper, and it'll have lovely savoury jelly and fabulous pastry. Bit fiddly, but worth it. So let's do it!
Yum! Yes, please!
Ingredients for the pastry. I'm going to make hot water pastry. It's not the hot water pastry recipe that I normally use. This one should be a bit richer and firmer and crunchier. We'll see. So I've got ½ kilo of flour. That's 250 grams plain all-purpose flour and 250 grams strong white bread flour. I've got 100 grams of butter and 100 grams of lard cut into bits. 1½ teaspoons of salt and 150 mils of boiling water. So the first thing to do is chuck the lard into a saucepan and melt it. And now we want to rub the butter into the flour. So I'll cut this into smaller bits as well, which will make it easier. Break it into bits. This is a bit warm actually, it should have been chilled a bit more. With the tips of your fingers, just break that up and get all the little bits of butter integrated into the flour, and it should look a bit like breadcrumbs when you've finished. Now the lard has melted. I'm going to add the salt to that, then add the boiling water and pop that in with the flour mixture. And stir that with a spoon until we get a nice pastry-like substance. And then just work it with your hands to get the last bits of flour incorporated. So there's the pastry. We'll just leave that aside and let it cool a little bit. And now I've got a cake tin, 20 centimetre tin, that's about 8 inches. And even though this is brand new, never been used, I'm still going to grease it with butter because I'm like that. Okay, now we need to roll out the pastry. I'll just take about 2/3 of it. I'll keep this chunk for the lid, and that should be enough to make the bottom. And we just roll this out to about 5 mil, about 1/4 of an inch thick, possibly a bit thicker. The slightly tricky part is to get the pastry into the tin without breaking it or creasing it or making any holes in it. So we just lower it in and kind of stretch it down to the bottom. And now we trim off the excess with a knife and just leave a little bit overhanging to form a nice rim. There we go. Now we roll out the lid. And that's our lid, just a little bit bigger than the tin. And we'll cut around again, leaving a little bit for a rim. And I'm just going to make a nice big hole in the middle, which will let the steam escape while we're baking it, and will also be useful to get the jelly in at the end. And I've got a few scraps which I'm going to keep because I'm going to make some holly leaves to decorate it with. Now these go in the fridge to chill while we get on with the filling. Okay, ingredients for the filling. I've got some slices of turkey breast, that's about 450 grams, and I've got some gammon ham, which is that's about 750 grams. I won't use all of that probably. And I've got a bunch of cilantro, coriander, and I've got ground black pepper. So first thing to do, these are conveniently already cut into nice even slices, and I'm going to slice this up the same. And if there's any fat on it, you want to cut that off, because even though I'm a big fan of fat, it's not right for this recipe. Slice it as evenly as you can. So now we'll start to assemble, or start to fill the pie, and I'll give that a good sprinkling of ground black pepper. This is for flavour and also to help delineate the layers, to make them look separate, and cover that with a layer of coriander leaves. Again, flavour and separation. Alright, like that, and now a layer of turkey. Got a bit of space at the edge, so I'll just trim off a bit from one of the other pieces. And now another layer of pepper and another layer of coriander and another layer of pork, and then pepper and coriander again, and finally the last few bits of turkey and the last few bits of ham. And I was completely wrong about not using all of that, because this is actually totally perfect. So there we go. So we just need to moisten the edge with water to make the lid stick on properly. Place the lid on and press it down tightly all the way around the edge, and then fold the edge up so it's not going to catch on the tin, and just work around it to make it quite even, and then we can do a bit of crimping. So there it is, all nicely crimped, and now I'm going to make some holly leaves out of the leftover pastry. You want to roll that out as thinly as you can. Some flour on there would have been a good idea. And then, so I've cut out a basic leaf shape, and then we'll turn it into a holly leaf by doing these concave cuts. And then we'll just score lines in it. And that's my interpretation of a holly leaf. I'm going to make 3 of those. And now to stick the holly leaves in on, just moisten the backside and press them on. And now you can rest this in the fridge for half an hour or an hour before you bake it. That looks fab. Right, now we're ready to bake the pie. I've got the oven preheating to 180 degrees Celsius. Glaze the pie with a beet mag. And then we'll stick this in the oven for 45 minutes initially, and then take it out of the tin and put it in for another 45 minutes so that the outside gets browned as well. Now here's the half-baked pie, and what I need to do is get it out of the tin and onto a baking sheet to finish it off. There we go, and that goes back in for another 45 minutes. Right, here's our lovely pie. Now that needs to cool down completely before we put the jelly in. Now we need to make up the jelly and finish off the wonderful pie. So I've got half a litre of chicken stock there, and I've got 100 ml of hot water. I'm just going to sprinkle in a sachet of gelatine. That's the equivalent of 4 leaves of gelatine, and I'll just give that a good stir to dissolve it and pour it into the stock. And just mix that, and we'll let that simmer for a bit. Important, don't let it boil. Right, so the stock jelly is ready to go, and we just need to get it into the pie. So a funnel through the hole in the top is probably the easiest. Now I can't actually get any more in. So that was well over half the stock that I made, about 3/4 of it. So this needs to sit in a cold place or go back in the fridge for the jelly to set, and then we can cut it open and have a look and eat it. So here's the pie all finished, and I've just topped it with a few cranberries, in fact. So now let's cut him open and see what's inside. And look at that. Is that fantastic or what? There you go, Christmas pie. And that's that. Hope you enjoyed it. Now please share it with all your friends on social media. Subscribe to this channel, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and don't forget the amazing website that has all the details of all the recipes. And thank you for watching. Come back soon.